Bitcoin has seen a refreshing amount of green today, so I just want to take a quick look at a few charts as well as my current long position. If that sounds good to you guys, smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. With that, let's get it. Alright guys, so in my previous video here I was outlining this channel between these yellow lines here, and well, at the time of recording my previous video I think we were trading right along the yellow support line here, and I was saying that things were looking a little bit weak and I thought there was a good chance that we break down. Honestly, this breakout ended up not getting near as aggressive as I thought it was going to. I thought that there was a good chance that we would end up dumping all the way back down to my red downward sloping trend line, which you guys know I've been pointing out for a while, just a longer trend line I had mapped out. But the fact that the bears never did pull the trigger here and we just ended up drifting sideways, finding support and getting right back into this channel, this led me to pull the trigger on a long. It was a smaller long, I'll give it that, but it was a beautiful long, so every bit of profit is good profit. So like I said, just the fact that we got back into this channel, one of my favorite plays to make when trading with leverage is failed breakout patterns, and this just looked like a beautiful one to me. We have a falling wedge pattern here, or a descending channel, whatever you want to call it. Either way, it's generally a bullish pattern once they break out. So the fact that we got a bearish break instead, but then got that fake out and back right into that same pattern, I was willing to give it another chance. And not only that, you guys know my opinion with Fibonacci retracement tool. I love the 618 and the 786 Fibonacci lines. So when I take a fib line pull, fib tool pull from bottom to top here, you can see that where we were finding support was very close to the 618, basically right on top of it on the 1 hour chart here. So that was another bullish indication for me. So the fact that we found support at the 618 fib line and got back into that bullish pattern was a lot of green flags in my opinion. I just really liked what I was seeing there, so I took a bit of a long on the retest here. I did, here I'll bring up my other chart here where I locked in a little bit of profits, and just my methods for taking profits here. Same thing with the Fibonacci. I just took this very micro bearish swing here and pulled from this little high here, this micro high, down to our current bottom. And once again, just looking for that 618 and 786 rejection point. So I took a little bit of profits off the table here just below the 618 fib rejection point. And as well, I took a little more profit when we got near the top of my channel again, just because we hadn't broke out of that channel yet. I figured just getting close to that resistance line once again, I figured was probably a good place to take a little bit of profits. And just before starting this video, basically, or actually just before I got home, I ended up locking in a little bit more profits, just because I think we're at a potential resistance zone. Even though I think that it's very possible that Bitcoin has a lot more gas left in the tank here, just the fact that we are starting to trade at my little bit of a resistance box here, it never hurts to take a little more profits if you're unsure, so I'd rather lock some in than regret it and end up getting stopped out at break even on the rest of my position. So that's kind of my thought process there on the 1 hour chart. As well, you can see that the RSI has gotten quite overbought on this little pump that we've had. That being said, this could very well just mean that there's a shit ton of buying pressure in the market. But once again, it's just one of those things I'm unsure about, so I'd rather be safe than sorry here. There's absolutely the possibility that we stay in overbought territory, suggesting that we're just in strong buying pressure territory. But we're going to have to see how this plays out from here. All in all, I'm very happy with this pump. I'm glad that we got this little bit of a breakout from this little pattern here. If I wanted to look for more rejection points, I could pull a bigger fib top to bottom, and look at that, guys, actually right where my resistance line is kind of mapped out here, right where we're trading right now actually is the 618 rejection point. So another I didn't even see this before making the video, so once again I'm happy that I just ended up taking a little bit more profits off the table. So something to consider there, guys. What else do I want to go over here? I want to look at my macro chart once again. You guys know I've been loving this chart. A few things that I do like to see is, once again, we're still holding this green box as support. This is an entire market cycle resist to support flip, so this would be absolutely beautiful if we do end up blasting off from here. But more importantly, what I've been looking at, well, not even more importantly, just another thing that I've been watching more recently is this 200-week moving average. And you can see that we are once again really fighting right along that weekly moving average. So that's interesting to see. You guys know that I was a little more cautious as we close this previous weekly candle below that 200-week moving average. But the fact that we're right on it once again, just ready to tackle it again, the bulls aren't quite ready to let off the gas yet, or more importantly, the bears aren't really pulling the trigger. So this is definitely something to consider. As I mentioned, I was cautious at the start of this week, getting that bit of a rejection, but I was also open to the idea that this week could still close above that. We haven't seen a harsh rejection yet, and even the fact that we did have this candle was looking pretty red in my last video. But I had also mentioned that it's totally normal for a candle to test back into the previous body. And you can see that we retested the entire length of that body perfectly. So the fact that we retested that whole move, but then started blasting off to the upside, that's a good sign in my opinion. Once again, the bears just weren't ready to step in and push the price down and cut right through my support, which would, I think, in my opinion, lead to quite an aggressive sell-off if we did drop below this yellow line and this green support box. But it hasn't happened. So the fact that we are still finding support, the bulls are still willing to play the game at the very least, things are looking good in my opinion. So those are just a few things that I really wanted to touch base with for you guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make another video for you guys this week, and especially this weekend. I'm going to be out of town for a wedding, and just the weather's been hot and windy. I've been kite surfing a bunch, so life is good, but I really wanted to bring you guys this little video. For those of you who are on Twitter, be sure to follow me there as well, because sometimes when I don't have time to post a video or I'm not home or whatever, sometimes I'll post a bit of analysis there. You can see here that I was posting about this exact trade. Let me just go back here. Here I outlined in my previous video, I outlined this channel. The breakdown never got the dump I was expecting, and we reclaimed support. She's weak, but it's a start. Took a small long on the retest. So here I basically a play-by-play when I got into it. From here, I outlined that 618 rejection point, which led me to take a little bit of profits. Again, just taking at least partial profits quickly in these market conditions is important if trying to long a bounce, in my opinion. I stand by that statement. And here, once again, reach the resistance line of my channel, hitting my second take profit on this long. We'll let half my position ride in case Bitcoin decides to break out. And that absolutely did happen. We got this nice breakout out of my yellow channel. So absolutely beautiful. So once again, if you don't follow me on Twitter yet, it's StuTube Trading, all one word. So be sure to do that as well. Other than that, guys, I think that's all I have to say. Once again, I'm not sure if I'll be making another video later this week, and definitely not on the weekend. So yeah, probably won't hear from me until early next week unless you're following me on Twitter. Obviously, I'll still have that access anyways. So I'll try and keep you posted on my positions and what I'm doing there, what I'm looking at, that sort of stuff. So anyways, guys, if you appreciated my take on the markets, and especially the play-by-plays on Twitter, that sort of stuff, please be sure to smash that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way for a small channel such as myself. And other than that, stay safe, my friends. Peace.